Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 136, and today we're going to be doing some battle with Gwen Nasus. And so this is kind of old, kind of new concept all mashed together. I feel like as soon as the new set came out, at least I personally was like, hell yeah, let's try all these husk things in a Slayer's deck. And then you get it together, you get the husks on board, and you find out that doesn't count as a slay. And you're like, oh shit, well, I guess that's not what we're doing today. And then so you're like, cool, well, this hallowed ability's here with Gwen. Let's try and throw this hallowed thing into a bunch of decks. And you find out that that doesn't really work that fantastically as well. But that's not to say that we can't go back to an old shell like Thresh Nasus and see if we can't get something going here. The thing that we did discover with Gwen is she is pretty fantastic on her own. She takes a lot of resources away from your opponent. It's kind of like a death by a thousand cuts kind of thing, as to where she doesn't come down and just make like a super huge impact immediately, but she might come down, get an attack, she gets a drain, she might kill a small unit, she gets to block something the next turn, and then your opponent has to play a spell or get into another bad block or something. This is like a lot of words coming out of my mouth that happens frequently with Gwen. And so she's still a pretty high-powered value unit. And I do kind of like the idea that she adds to these older Thresh Nasus style decks as to where we're going to get this really big early game, right? We have our Bakai Reapers, our Cursed Keepers. We kill our Cursed Keepers with Ravenous Butchers. We get all of these early game attacks in, but then we need a way to actually close it out. And so the way you typically close it out would be with Atrocity. But it's nice with Gwen in that she gets some good attacks in there, and then she can use her Drain ability to go over top of our opponent's units. If she dies, the Hallowed is still relevant the rest of the game. Lots of cool and interesting things happening with Gwen. Now, the other thing coming from the new set is a card like Hate Spike. This is one that does actually count as a slay, and I've kind of been waiting on the proper amount of spell slays to turn up to make something like Burgeoning Sentinel activate often enough to be exciting, and I think we're going to be there with that today. And so we have a handful of spell slays in here to try and activate our Burgeoning Sentinels. Oh my god, I got cat just jamming claws right into me. Here we go. Here's the cat. Y'all want to see it? Yeah, he's a trooper. He's a real dumb shit over here. But anyways, I feel like with the addition of Hate Spike, it gives us another way to really pop off with the Sentinel, and then having these really powerful early game openers with the Sentinels and the Reapers get nicely complemented by the closing power of Gwen. And so this is what we're going to be doing battle with today. I have checked in on the pay-to-win price, and it's been paid. Everything in here is already premium. So let's get ourselves going. Let's get on to battle. Get this little record thing up here. Looking good. Looking good. So I'm curious, the strength of Thresh Nasus these days. It's kind of an interesting cycle that you see with Runeterra, as it's kind of like the top decks show up, right? And so we have like Bartalawi and Kaisa, and to a lesser degree tokens, all hanging out at the top of the meta. And then it's like everyone remembers they're either tired of playing the new decks or they forgot that the old decks were actually good. And so I think we're in that stage right now where it's like the new patch comes out in about a week. Everyone is in that I forgot that the old cards were good stage, to where they're bringing back the likes of Talia, Lysandra, and the likes of the various Aphelios decks to the world. So, we'll see how this shapes up. But all right, we're up against something apparently old, right? Got some Lulu Shen coming at us today. We'll see if he gets some barrier challengers in on us. He has the Bright Steel Protector right here. It'd be a little unfortunate, but without it, he's not offering up that much. So do we want to go ahead and drop the Fading Icon? It's kind of a bummer in the sense that we play the Icon and it just trades with the bird, but we can get the extra unit on board, and then we can use that to either Blighted Caretaker next turn, which is kind of meh, or we could get a Spell Slay and Burgeoning Sentinel, which feels a little slow, a little off. We don't have to Fading Icon. I'm looking at the icon and then still thinking we might want to Merciless Hunter. It's just like a pretty bad spot for the Blighted Caretaker here. We could look to just make big boys, right? We could make another 3/3. Maybe that's the way to go about it. We do have quicksand into the formidable, which is reasonably strong. I think I'm just going to look to play this a little slow. I'm going to go for the spell slay onto our prey. Try and grow the sentinel. Then we should still have an attack with the sentinel this turn. And then next turn we can try and pop off with quicksand. Like, I feel like we're gonna get a pretty choice quicksand against this dude playing barriers and formidables and everything. I think this will be okay. I feel like the screen just did something. Did Nasus make some kind of noise? Huh. Interesting. Oh my gosh, the cat wants to hang out real bad. Just passes. Interesting. Well, we can add the Reaper. I'm okay with playing this a little slow. And then if we get into the next turn and get to use the Blighted Caretaker to get a takedown on his two smaller units, that looks pretty good. Weird. So weird. What are you doing, my dude? Why are you the way that you are? Okay. How you feel about that? Again, he's got that unit with barrier in hand, but... okay. You know, okay. Interesting. Don't really care about these broadwings. So let's do this. Let's get the good hooks in. Our Fearsomes can still attack. He's gonna need quite a bit to get these zero attack units up to blocking our Fearsome units. And so, I mean, this should be good. If he's spending barriers to protect his caretakers and fleet feather trackers, I feel like that's a win. Oh my god, this cat needs so many pets. I know it's hard to see on here. he makes it just short of the video, but he is being a needy little fucker. Get you them head scratches, my dude. What you got? Sharp sight. Okay. Guy just stomping on everything. Alright, do we want to go ahead and drop a Ravenous Butcher or anything? I'm not really excited about what is happening here in terms of our mana. Well, this is about to be okay. That's one way to put it. This quicksand is about to rock this dude's world. Womp womp. Give that a little cupcake. A little taste of the cupcake. All right. Now he's got he can't make any boat plays. I feel okay. He's not going to get a big double strike kill on us this turn. So we can fairly safely emote. All right, cat, you got to go. Shit's getting real. And there it is. Bring in that heat. Good job, deck. Good job. Glad we got the Sentinels out there in the first game. I know that there's been like the Sentinels deck running around before with Jace and the like, but this feels a little more fresh. And so, man, in the Lands of Life, I've started in on something new. I figured everyone would be here excited to hear about this. Are you familiar with the television program Game of Thrones? I started to watch it again. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I know on HBO, there's the new version, the prequel, the Targaryen version, if you will, that's supposed to be coming out. I don't think it's come out yet. I feel like Reddit would have gone apeshit as soon as that show came out, and I haven't seen anything, but it keeps like popping up with like the previews on HBO. And then me and the wife were kind of like, well, I guess we'll start the original over again. Like, it's such a weird space to be in, and that like the first like 3 or 4 seasons are just like a solid 9 out of 10. There's some bad spots in it, of course, but I think everyone can pretty much agree that it's pretty top notch for the most part. And then everyone knows how it ends, but like, it's like a weird feeling, like when you know what you're getting yourself into, and it's like it's not like quite like seeing a car wreck happen and it happens in front of you in slow motion. It's just like I feel like it's when you've had like 3 beers and then that if you drink the fourth one, you're just going to go all in and you're going to drink like 11 beers on the night. I feel like that's how it feels when you kick on the Game of Thrones. It's like, all right, we're going to get to a point. This shit's going to be bad, but we're all in. It's going to be real fun up front, but tomorrow is going to be fucking miserable. Just waiting on the fucking story to crash. I wish they would just go back and remake it or something. I don't know. Once what's his name comes out and has the, can we even do anything here? George R. R. Martin comes out with the new books. If that ever happens, if we can just forget that about season 6 forward happened and just come and redo it all. But all right, back to the action here. No more Game of Thrones for right now. We're up against Katarina Twisted Fate. This is a Riptide Rex deck. They're going to try and get down a Ravenbloom Conservatory. They're going to use the Conservatory to get Tybalak down. Tybalak will make all of his abilities do +1. And then with that +1... with that +1, they can typically kill you with a Riptide Rex. And so let's see what happens. It's not a real compelling attack. Maybe we should have left the Reaper at home, but wasn't entirely sure what he was wanting to do with Katarina. And this feels like a fine enough trade. Like it's not an awesome one, but it at least gets some damage in, gets the game rolling forward. Having him spin Blade's Edge is actually quite nice. So, okay. All right, I guess. Need something to happen though. This is not looking ideal. We're not presenting enough enough threats here. Our small bro is feeling small. They need to grow a little bit. So is this just going to be a second one or a Twisted Fate? What are we getting ourselves into here? I'm just going to lean towards Twisted Fate. Picking up a picking up another 1 health unit does not make it feel better when opponents just spewing Make It Rains on you. Interesting. All right, well we got the Gwen flip. And she's not going to like pop off with her flip ability or anything, but she's got a pretty meaty collection of stats. As we drop our 3/3 Nasus. Talk about a meaty collection of stats. 3/3 Nasus coming at you. And Twisted Fate, sure. Oh, so meaty. That 3/3 Twisted Fate coming in with the thunder. Or that 3/3 Nasus. Oh no, we lost our Husk. Okay. So it's scary place to be. They play a lot of stuff that, like Scorched Earth kind of cards that can directly dome our units. Atrocity's an interesting pickup. If he tries to spew on our Nasus or something next turn, we might get to just send 5 to face. Mirai Warden, okay. Not used to seeing the Mirai Warden come out of these. We have a pretty powerful selection of Fearsome units here, right? As it stands next turn, his units can't block either the Sentinel or Nasus. So, all right. All right, snip snap, motherfucker. That's what you're supposed to say, right? And I would assume he's going to have like a Scorched Earth or something. We can try an Atrocity out of it. Maybe get to a lethal this round. I don't suspect this will be lethal. He has too many cards in hand, but it might get him to play like a Disintegrate plus something else, and he may just have to like high roll out of it. If he has to like Disintegrate, make it rain to try and kill Nasus, that doesn't feel good for opponent. Ravenous Flock. Alright, we don't have any tools to get out of that. Unfortunate. Alright. Well, I think our saving grace here might be Gwen and her ability to just do the snip snap, whatever this thing is called. Snip, snip, snip. With the 2 damage drain, we might be able to take it down. I think opponent is starting to get clever and try to make a Riptide Rex play next turn. It looks like he's going to try and open on us and then throw down Riptide Rex. So if we could get out of the plunder, that would be good. If he opens, we're not going to be wide enough, though. Everything's too big now. Alright, so we block Tybalak. We'll just block his biggest things. Ideally, we're just not going to block with Gwen. Make him have a, kind of specific targeted removal to get out of this. Or does this take 8? Sure. You don't even really have to block with the Butcher. We'll keep it back in case we have like a Slay kind of card. I mean, we're either just going to attack with Gwen and win the game, or he's going to have an answer to Gwen and we'll lose. It doesn't matter a ton, but we should at least keep him back just in case. Like if we draw an Atrocity, then we still at least have an out to try and win. We got that Hallowed now. I'm ready. Okay, maybe. Let's do the Mana Gem, right? If we spend the Rite of Calling on the unit, and then we hit on... he has a removal spell, then we'll lose the game. Alright, maybe. We hit our 66%er there. Nice. Nice. It's a pretty tough matchup as well. Well, at least given the way our draw shaped out, right? We did not have a big aggro draw that game, and so... Felt good. Feels good, man. Maybe he wants to hear us talk more about Game of Thrones. Now, I must have seen like the first season of Game of Thrones like 5 or 6 times. I don't know how many times I've seen it, but I used to like, I'd watch the first season and then I knew the second season was coming out, so I'd go back and watch the first season, and then I would know that the third season was going to come out, so I'd go back and rewatch the first and the second one. I don't think I did that after like season 4. I think I just started watching the previous season, because that starts to be a fairly big ask to watch, 30 and 40 hours of a television show before you jump into the remainder of it, and so, or jump into the new stuff. So just switched back, but then the wife hadn't seen it yet, and so I also convinced her to watch the new seasons of Game of Thrones, so we had to watch through the whole thing again because she didn't know who anyone was. So I mean, maybe like this might be like the 6th time I've seen it. Sounds so bad once it actually the words come out of your mouth, but I've seen it a bunch. All right, up against the Bard Maokai deck. Always sounds like garbage to me, but people play it for some reason. Bard makes even the most garbagey of decks good, and so He's got that going for him. Oh, wow. Good job, I guess. Okay. So we can take one hit from this first. I'd like to be able to quicksand it away. So we'll try that with the next turn. Let him go ahead and gain the health, and then we can quicksand off the second hit. But yeah, this is part of the fun of playing against Bard. He played Bird for chime number 1, which is okay. You hit one, but going into turn 3, he'd naturally hit 2 more chimes, and then all 3 of them landed onto the same unit. Very fun. Loads of fun that we're having with this set of cards. Fucking stupid. Like, I have a feeling that with Bard, he strikes me as the kind of card that feels like he was made for Path of Champions, right? It doesn't sound like a real constructed type ability with what you have going on here. I don't think they ever really counted on Bard to, make it, but there's always that problem with the casual cards once they actually roll over into good. You have what we're experiencing now, and it is fucking abysmal. If he has a removal on the Reaper, this game's done. Why? Why would you do that? Okay. I guess he doesn't want his Reaper that much, or his Wanderer that much. I mean, the game's still pretty done. We had to invest 3 cards into that one thing. The extent that he had to do was literal nothing. Okay. And it's not like I even think Bard is that super overpowered. Like, he's certainly strong. He's just not in the realm of like ridiculous strong. It's just you run into games like that where it's just not fun. Like, you accept that, okay, you played Bird, 3/2 for 1 mana is about the right price. But when they just hit the chimes right off the top like that, you're just like, oh, that was one of those lottery ticket games, I guess. Well, this is tough. Like, I really need to find our early game sacrificeables, all of our early plays actually, but he is playing Action, which is a lot that we can take down with the Blighted Caretaker. But I think on the even attacks, not getting to play the Caretaker until turn 4, we're just not going to be happy with it. So we'll go ahead and roll it out. You got something good? Another awkward ass hand.
I don't need rules to know good from bad.
All right, something cool, deck. Atrocity? That was, I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Atrocity is a cool card. It just does not complement our hand whatsoever. I think this has to be done. We can't go into next turn and have our board just be that 1/1 and Gwen. It's just not enough. All right, well, at least we got more stats on board now. He's thinking of doing something clever. I'm curious if he has a single combat or something in hand. He could have tried to single combat down the prey, but nothing's gonna change us from playing Gwen here. We're just gonna attack with her and see what happens. If he has combat tricks for action, that's completely fine.
My shield is yours.
Wish we did have the point of mana, but battle time. Sure. So awkward.
Take the children to safety now.
We still get the Spiderling popping the spell shield, right? Yeah. So would we rather draw cards or would we rather thread the needle? He's only at 3 of 6 keywords. Picked up Faded. He's really trying to pop off for this kind of stuff. He's too far away from Evolve, I think, to want to take those down. If he does have the single combat here, this is going to be pretty painful, but sure. So we're about to take 1 million. All right, let's be real. Let's be real with this one. That one was over with from the start. Sometimes you draw your deck in the wrong order. That would have been one of those, like playing Magic and mulliganing to 5. Like we were kind of ended if we drew things in the right order. Things could have kind of gone right, but when we were needing to draw early plays and we're drawing duplicate champions and atrocities, makes it a little bit awkward. Okay. Got our Cursed Keeper. Got some of that stuff we're looking for here. Let's go. Okay. So how do we want to go about this? Like, it doesn't feel great to trade our 4/2 or Ravenous Butcher for Bird. I kind of feel like we can go into the next round and just get something happening with Blighted Caretaker. I don't think we need to like go all in on this board right now. Now we do need to get some aggression happening, right? He's playing Bard, and so he's definitely going to outboard us given a couple of turns, but we aren't 100% there yet. I'll take this, whatever this is going to be, a 4-hit. We'll probably just go ahead and trade the Merciless for the Sea's Voice.
I remember the fight. Do you feel her presence?
Oh, that's it. You just bring the 1, huh? Okay. Interesting. Well, looking back at this, we probably should have just blocked, but can get a lot on board this turn, though. I was looking to make a Blighted Caretaker play, but it's not nearly as good with the Tentacle happening. So we'll play the Wings in the Wave and the Ravenous Butcher. We'll still get a 3-hook into the Sea's Voice. See where this gets us. Gotta send this mountain of stats into Bard. I'm pretty excited about that. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited about interacting with this 4/7. Okay. Really surprised he's not sending in the Tentacle. Like, is he gonna attempt a lethal on us next turn with a Lowy or something? It gives us opportunities to win this game with an Atrocity now. If we can hook his tall units out of combat, we get a shot to chunk in just like a little bit more damage, and then we can chunk in just a little bit more damage and then maybe get an Atrocity kill. There's a good chance we can deal like 6 or 7 damage next turn. Oh, probably not anymore. We were kind of close to it. I need to get Dude off the board. Okay. Just need like another sacrificeable. And quicksand. Okay. Buys us time. Like whenever he's trying to go for the Alawi kill, we certainly get a little bit longer. Slotbot, I like your style, dude. All right, let's see where it gets us. So then if he wants to block Bard into something else over here, it's kind of okay. He keeps the Bard up. Well, I mean, we got where I was trying to get to, right? We're in a space now to where we can win the game with Atrocity. So we'll try and pick it up. I want to go ahead and play this now, just in case I need to respond to something. We picked it up. All right, GG. They shouldn't have any punishes for this.
Who's on top of the bounty board today?
Let's go ahead and do it. Rip it out there, bro. Nice. You know what we do there? We mark it a W for bust. GG. Okay, Gwen and Braum. Not sure what I expect out of this. I mean, I assume this will be some amount of putting Hallowed onto Braum as your combo, but doesn't sound ultra strong to me. Do we want to hang on to Wings in the Wave? This is like the card I'm feeling like less excited about having 3 copies of, but we have run into a few times to where we really needed sacrificable stuff, and that's what it provides. Maybe we should only play 2 copies or something, but hang on to it here. There's the premier 1-drop. What up, Bakai Reaper? Right, see if we get one of those good combat things everybody's talking about. Good enough combat thing. Okay. Oh man, if he plays another 1 health unit and we get the spell slay with the Vile Feast, I dig it. Oh, he thought about it. he thought about playing a 1 health unit. He didn't do it. Now we can like Vile Feast our prey and have that be a means to grow our units.
Can a spirit fight to the death? Thinking I'll learn soon.
Yeah, I think I'm on board. So much Fearsomes. Now, as I see a board like this, I was like, I wonder if we're just going to get annihilated by an Avalanche. I don't feel like this deck's going to play Avalanche. I mean, I guess it kind of fits on theme with Braum, but it doesn't really feel like what they're trying to do. It's kind of like a mid-rangey Hallowed number. What is this? The AoE? That's the AoE stance, right? And then he goes to Vile Feast, our Merciless Hunter. Okay. All right. Send in that non-peace nugget. What do we got now? That's close to a kill with the Blighted Caretaker.
Leave my mark.
So let's do this. Let's summon a prey. I'm going to just block Gwen with one of them. Sacrifice off the other one to the Ravenous Butcher. There's no reason to do that. We'll just use it to play Blighted Caretaker next turn. Fairly close to lethal. If we can get the 4 damage hit in with the Reaper. Probably going to be short. We'll get at least one trade, right? Maybe it is enough. Vulnerable from you. Looks like we got neg 12 coming in if he can't interact. Boo. Doing stuff. Thread the needle. Okay. Kind of lame if you ask me. What we got? Take him to 5. Right, Fading Icon's not exactly what we're looking for, but we'll have a pretty close to full board to open with next turn. The worst thing here would be like a Braum. Braum would be pretty painful if he could force out the Hallowed attack and get the free unit out of it. Probably just lose the game at that point, but we'll see. Goes for a stance. Okay. Like, I don't think we worry about AoE stances. +2/+2 or +2 attack overwhelm aren't that big of a deal. Does let him triple snip or whatever for an additional point of damage. So he could drain for 3 instead of 2. But, you know. He's got some reason for doing this. I mean, he opened with it. 2 attack overwhelm, okay. Coming in for 10. I mean, sure. We're gonna die to an atrocity either way. All right, my hand's on the table, dude. What do you got? Nothing? Can't imagine letting him play a slow spell is the way to go about this, or add units, whatever. Nasus is not the answer to getting out of this mess. Okay. Interesting. So we take him to 1. He's pretty much out of mana at this point. All right, maybe it's not as done as I thought. Sure. Braum's getting a kill somewhere. Oh, we're just dead. Oh, fuck. I forgot he got overwhelmed when I had the Hallowed. Oh, my dude. I thought we were still going to roll into the next turn. I was like, ooh, we're going to get this Cursed Keeper on the board to deal that 1 point of damage. Oh, man. I forgot about the Halloweds coming in. Nice work. GG, my dude. So maybe we could have, well, we could have blocked Gwen for the point of damage to not be dead there, but that would have definitely changed the course of the rest of the game. Okay, well, we can do stuff right at the start. That's the Reaper's that stuff we want to be doing, though. All right, let's get these good attacks in. It's like you see these starts with the wings in the wave, and it just doesn't look that exciting. Look at this now, though. This shit's about to pop. Fortunately, he has the good answer to our fearsomes. All right, so we'll punch in for 6 this turn. I assume he's going to trade. Okay. We're out of cards, but that's never stopped us before, right? Who needs cards in their hand? Overrated. Sure. All right, so do we open now? We will be coming in for about 8, right? Assuming he blocks one of our little boys. What would his backup play be? Like, I think the important thing this turn, I don't think too many people play Radiant Guardian anymore, but he can't Radiant us. I think we just come in. It's a little scary to try and give this up. And then if he has like a Sharp Sight onto Green Fang into the Bakai Reaper, that still slows them down substantially. Okay. Yeah, Void Blaster would have been problematic. So coming into his Kaisa turn, he's a keyword short, right? He'll play Kaisa, she'll have quick attack. He shouldn't be able to hit us with the big damages. We lethal this turn? We're going to be a little short. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's pretty good. So we need 9 mana for the Atrocity Hate Spike, and we only have 8. So this kills everything except our Bakai Reaper. So the question we're going to have to ask ourselves is, do we want to play around a rally? And I don't think we have the option to do so. Like, they have rallies and cataclysms. If he has one, I think it just has to be okay. Let's do this. Like, I want to Hate Spike now, just to be sure our Reaper has 6 attack. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this. Deal 2 to Kaisa, that's fine. Let's actually deal... Oh. We'll deal it to this other dum-dum. So if he goes to block next turn, he won't have tough. This is just to get the extra attack onto the Bakai Reaper. Now we have 2 options that can be used to Atrocity. Now, I'm a little scared of attempting a Atrocity right now. Right? If we can't open next turn and just play it, if he has a single combat or something, then we would just outright lose. And so I feel a little bit better getting Nasus on board instead of just going for the Atrocity kill. I mean, maybe we should just go for it. Like, what does playing Nasus get us, right? We can attack with both of our units, then, I don't know. Alright. YOLO. Now you want a photo? You already know, though. You only live once. That's the motto. YOLO. Suck it. Oh. Oof. Did y'all squeeze your butt cheeks on that one? Just a little bit? Just a little bit. I appreciate it. I felt it back this way, too. I could tell you were squeezing for us. GG. All right, on to the last one. Up against Lurkers for our final battle. Let's see how it goes. I like hanging on to Gwen against Lurkers. It's just a nice early... it's not aggressive, but man, maybe we should get rid of her on the odd attacks, though. We won't get to attack with her till turn 5. She's just like such a strong attacker against the deck, and then the drain is really relevant. All right, we'll let her go. I'll see you, Gwen.
Demacia sends its regards.
All right, on to battle. Gwen turned back. She knew she was going to bring some thunder this game. She says, "You can't get rid of me that easy. I'm gonna bring it to the party."
With the power of time, the possibilities are endless. I turn it like so. Look upon me.
Okay. So no spell slays upcoming for the Sentinel, but we can get the 2 big units going with the Cursed Keeper and the Wings in the Wave. Odd seeing them not play anything. Okay. Oh, no, he has to have a play. It's just like, it's really bad for them to find themselves in this spot to where they have to get a unit on board, or otherwise they can't attack. If you can't attack, you can't hit lurks. And so if you're not open attacking, or at least giving yourself the option to open attack, then you can run into a bit of problems. So with this, Pike comes on board, but he hasn't struck anything. Now he's he's kind of loser mode now, is what I was going for. He can't. He has to hit the lurk. He did manage to do it, which is kind of Luxville, but it's just a must-hit spot for them. Okay, we drew the Merciless Hunter, but not that interested. His blocks into Gwen are pretty terrible, and so we'll get this freebie here. He can potentially take Gwen down later with with just another Pike. Yeah, this fucking game. Okay. I hate this deck so much. Oh my god, I cannot put to words how much I hate this stupid deck. I feel like it was in the last video to where they just like naturally hit Rek'Sai on the first turn, and then across like the 5 or 6 turns of the game, they predicted once, and then they hit Rek'Sai and Pike on top of their deck 4 times across their like 6 attacks or so. It felt fantastic, let me tell you. It was a wonderful experience, and I had a great time with it, but these cards are fucking dumb. Alright, so that problem has been dealt with. Now, let's see if we can't get something going with Nasus. I don't think we're too far away from just getting a lethal with him. Let's see how this goes. We can always hook this dum-dum out of combat if we need to. Alright, so it looks like our stuff is going to be getting blocked. So let's attack with Nasus over to the left, then hit with our others. The minus attack here is not super relevant, right? Their lurks are so high anyways. We're gonna struggle to maintain trades. There's a slay. We can slay again in the middle of combat if we get an opportunity. This is safe. He can't take down our Nasus from here. Get a little bit of a draw too. Quicksand and Gwen. All right.
What a strange, wonderful world.
Hate Spike's not quite what we were looking for. I don't want to get Nasus involved in combat if he's just going to die. But, I mean, we can quicksand down the neg 4.
What a joy.
Oh. Okay. That was, oh no, we didn't play any cards. Oh, fuck. Fuck, we should have quicksanded. Our poor Nasus. Oh, that was bad. I just assumed he wasn't going to die. I saw, like, the small unit come forward and thought that it was just a chump block. That's not old Bust's finest moment. I bet we immediately draw quicksand next, or immediately draw atrocity next turn. Maybe we can still win with atrocity, but nope. Oh fuck.
Cut to the chase.
I don't know about this now. Things would be a little bit different if we had our Nasus on the board, but that would have definitely been the better quicksand. All right. Well, you learned it. You learned it here from me. Don't do it that way. And so let's get this pulled up. We can talk about it a little bit more. I mean, I wasn't particularly happy with how this list played out. I'm happy with Gwen. Like, Gwen has been a superstar whenever we've played her in Viego. And here in NASA, she's worked out just fine as well. Like, I'm always reasonably happy with Gwen. She just does so much. Again, I called it kind of like a death by 1,000 cuts, to where it doesn't feel like she's doing anything like huge, but spread across the entirety of the game, Gwen does a lot of work. And so she always feels fantastic. Here, I was kind of interested in seeing how things would go with, you know, all the Bakai Reapers and the Burgeoning Sentinels and the additional ways to activate them. There may be something here, but just not for this current format. This isn't a format to where you can play, you know, your whole host of 1 or 2 drops and then just have them trade with Bird. Just like way too big of a value hit, losing out on the 1 drop like that. It's weird how it feels. Like, it never felt good trading a 1 drop for Yordle Squire, but it seems to feel like pretty terrible against Bird. I don't know what the difference is between, say, like trading a 1 with Yordle Squire, trading a 1 with Omen Hawk, and then trading a 1 with Bird. It just feels like trading with Bird is so much worse. I think because they get such an immediate impact off of the +1/+1 that it just doesn't feel good. But at any rate, in terms of like playing this as a deck right now, I just didn't like a lot of the stuff we added. Hate Spike was pretty horrible, kind of in the same vein. Maybe it was just because we played against Bard so many times, but it still feels pretty bad against Bard. It feels pretty bad against Kaisa. I don't think we ever like really want this. Then so it kind of like, well, if you're cutting out the Hate Spike and you're cutting out the Burgeoning Sentinel, that just kind of takes you back to playing Gwen Nasus, which isn't upsetting. I don't think it's going to be like a fantastic ladder climber. When you're like really coming in on this like early game aggressive style thing and you're kind of needing the Fearsomes to work, it's just like it feels really bad when none of your cards kill anything in the Bard decks, right? If you're really needing to get like at least a trade out of a hit with a Blighted Caretaker, and it just doesn't do that anymore. And so maybe if the meta changes to where there's more Bandle City, or if like Pirates is a deck or Scouts is a deck or whatever, maybe this could make a shot back at being up in the forefront. But in the land of Bard, I don't think this is the place to where you want to be playing Blighted Caretakers or fearsome units in general and such. And so it's an interesting deck. It's just not the time for it, I think. And so I'm also kind of curious, as more cards get printed, it was pretty strong having this big collection of fearsomes, between the Bakai Reapers, the Burgeoning Sentinels, the Merciless Hunters, and so there may be a land to where the Fearsomes deck finally comes together. You can kind of see where Riot's trying to piece together like the Rite of Dominations and the Quicksands and the Nasuses and a way to make Fearsomes work out of Shurima Shadow Isles. And so maybe in the future there will be like a more Nasus-centric neg 1 to your opponent style permanent landmarky ability or something, who knows, but you can kind of feel it getting there, just not quite there yet. And so in terms of this deck, yeah, cut out the bad cards, put the good ones back in, you're good to go. I feel like everything in here is actually fine outside of this Hate Spike. Where'd you go? I'm losing it. Hate Spike Burgeoning Sentinel style thing. Probably could even get away with cutting another Blighted Caretaker, although that cuts out on your ability to get those really good full board white attacks and punish your opponent for losing units. And so, it takes some more tooling around. Maybe you can think of this in a best of 3. Probably just better off playing Viego at some point. But anyways, fun set of games. Fun set of battles. That is going to do it for us today. And so, hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you learned how to watch Game of Thrones for the 7th time. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.